What's happening, everyone? Happy it's a Sunday here. So I just thought I'd go through Euro USD and obviously where we're at, where we might potentially be looking to go this week. So stay with me and yeah, we'll obviously break it down and we'll see where we can go. We obviously have a trading group where we break down everything. Obviously, I only trade live, I only believe in trading live. I do not believe in just random posting. So let's wait and see how this one goes on. Right. As we can see here, we have got the monthly time frame up here. Now, as you can see, since January this year, Euro has strengthened against the dollar massively. You can actually compare this to the actual dollar index, as you can see here, since January, dollar has been on the decline. Is it going to be on the decline for much longer? Let's wait and see. Obviously, we have had a little bit of optimism. Obviously, the Federal Reserve have just reduced interest rates by 0.25%. Is that enough? Who knows? There is a demand to increase spending in the US, and I do think that's going to have a positive effect. But let's wait and see. Everyone's blaming these tariffs. It's very, very easy for everyone to hide but behind why is the economy not doing as well because of the tariffs. It's only just coming in, and I'm sure in about 6 months' time, yeah, we're still not doing great because of the tariffs. So we obviously need to be aware of this in regards to obviously how we're going to be looking into trading, for example, the euro US dollar. Now, if we always look at everything on a monthly time frame, I like to use this highlighter tool. This is TradingView. As you can see here, what a highlighter tool does, it just helps you a trend. It just helps you identify what potentially might be happening here. Now, I know all you technical traders won't like to look, or scalpers won't like to look at time frames this high. However, I like to. So we can really kind of gauge here what's happening. We had some consolidation here from obviously 2022 to September of last year. We broke below, but now we've broken back above. So that's going to tell me that this is going to be quite a key area for obviously euro to break through. All right, this area here, and obviously we can mark the lower end of it too. I probably would even go down to this area here because we want to see this breaking. All right. So obviously, once you get used to marking up levels, you won't have to mark them up as much. You'll be able to do most of it by eye, and obviously, you yeah won't have obviously as many lines. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to draw a lot of lines on, so you guys can really understand. So we got this high here, as you can see. What is happening here? All right, we'll have a look on a weekly time frame in a minute, but this is the monthly. So we've driven up here, right? Price was rejected instantly. We've rejected during August. We're looking like we're going to reject during September. So that to me tells me that this is a key area here. We can even round it up to make it look a bit more sexy if you want, but potentially 7,900. How does that look? Yeah, there we go. Could he probably do 1.8? Let's do that. Right. So, we've obviously got this area here, and then you want to cast your eye back. For those of you who do not agree with, do levels react? You can see here, this reacted here. It's broken through. Where's it retested before it's pushed up? It's come back and retested again, pushed up. Obviously in this area, retested again, pushed up. As soon as we break through, where's it retested? This area here, pushed back down again, broke through, retested, pushed up. As you can see, broke through, retested, pushed down. They do work no matter what anybody tells you. So just be aware of that. If we're going to go higher, then we're going to be looking around this kind of area here. This is perfect. Look at that. So that is where I would be looking if we broke through this during September. We've got about a week and a half left to September, so let's wait and see. We could be testing up this level, or if we're not, we're going to be testing back down here. So let's obviously wait and see, but these are the monthly levels that I would personally mark on. We then go on to a weekly time frame, and we want to kind of gauge, right, you know what, in the most recent time, what has been happening here? Obviously we can see we've been consolidating here. We had a breakout. We had another bit of consolidation here. We had a breakout. It's that kind of time frame there which we really want to look for. We're currently in a bit of consolidation here. What is consolidation? It's when markets move sideways, for anyone who is asking. So obviously market, struggling to break out. I'm not worried about wicks. I'm worried about where markets have closed and opened. So that is of importance to us. We had a nice rejection here. So this level is going to be quite key here, and then we can obviously mark up this box here. Also on a weekly, you could potentially, if you wanted to, draw some kind of a trend, but it is a bit messy, so just be aware of that. It is a little bit messy. However, it does give us that idea. 'Cause if we get a move like this happen, then we've already got our two confluences here. We've broken out of a trend, and then we've obviously broken out of a consolidation too. So that'll be two things. And then we're going to look on the daily time frame here. All right. So as you can see, daily starts to become a little bit cleaner. All right, we can leave everything where it is. I'd be happy with this trend on a daily. We obviously pushed up Tuesday last week. We've pushed back down. We've cleanly broke back down, but we're testing this here. As you can see, there's been a lot of rejection here. I've got the 50 moving average here because I just like to. I don't trade off of it. I just use it as one of my sort of lagging confluences if I'm looking to enter a trade. So we're currently back into this weekly consolidation zone here. We want to know there's two key targets here. One to be this one here, and then one to be this one here. If we can break down through both of them, we might see a move like this happen. We obviously would have to be aware of this level here, potentially this one here, and yeah, and then it would just be target. So just two areas we'd have to be aware of. So if we go into the session time frame here, all right, if we go into the session time frame, we can, this is obviously every 8 hours. Again, not much different to the daily time frame. Still kind of stuck. There's a couple of areas here which we're going to be looking out for. We're technically still in an uptrend here, so just be aware. As you can see, we're still in this uptrend, and until this level here breaks, we are still in an uptrend. For those of you who like Fibonacci, you could put a nice Fibonacci here, but obviously we would need to break through this area to consider it being an overall downtrend. So just be aware of that. If we look at this on the 4 hour, again, I'd be wary of where it is. Remember this this here is classed as one move. All right, so it might be that we're coming back down here to then push higher. All right, so this is where we have to be keeping an eye on the dollar index at the same time, the DXY, because that again you can see here we're trending to the downside. Is this just a lower high, or is this going to be a break? That's one thing that we are going to have to be monitoring. So for those of you who don't look at the DXY, I recommend that you do, because it's going to obviously help you in regards to what you are looking for here. So right, let's go back onto EURUSD, delete these scribbly arrows, and then we can come back on. There we go. So right, let's get ready. So we're now coming down into this area here. All right, this is the 1 hour time frame. Now I'm not a huge technical drawer, but obviously for this video, I'm gonna do some overall drawing here. So we kind of gauge what is happening, what potentially might happen here. So if we change the color of this, because it's going to be our 1 hour, yeah. All right, this is our 1 hour consolidation. As you can see here, we're obviously trending quite nicely. We could break this down a little bit more if we wanted to. So yeah, we're obviously, as long as we're keeping in within this, we have, within these tram lines here, I would probably favor a downside move more than an upside move here. Potentially could be looking at something like this, and then obviously a downside move down to here. All right, this would be my option number one. We'd obviously want to be looking at the times of the day that it's happening, but obviously that would be a very, very nice trade here. And if we look at this on a higher time frame here, we've obviously got a lot of um, reactions here. So if we're breaking through that, we're obviously breaking through this level of support here, and then obviously we'd be retesting to get that continuation down. So that is one thing that I'll be aware of here. If we change this to almost make it a golden zone, a golden entry zone. If this rejects, then we obviously might be looking for a tail up, and obviously you could potentially be looking for a head and shoulders if you trade head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder might be trading up here for a downside move. I am favoring dollar to strengthen up ever so slightly, but let's wait and see how that happens. But yeah, that those would be my kind of two scenarios. One would obviously be, if it happened early, it'd be this one here. And then next scenario, if it happened a bit later, would be this one here. And of course, if this breaks, we're going to have to completely change our analysis round and obviously have a look to take these up to the highs here. But I do like the look of this here. If we do get that bit of continued dollar strength. So let's wait and see. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Drop me a like and subscribe. And yeah, I'm going to start to make more. I've been a bit lazy on YouTube. I kind of keep starting it and not. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is do a lot more detailed overall breakdowns. So this is obviously Sunday, so let's wait and see what happens during the week. I'll keep you guys updated on this trade. Have a good one.